Shh, I'm meditating. Actually, I'm not, because I've never meditated. However, I am in a meditative state thanks to my Sensate 2. This is a Sensate 2 device. It sits on your chest and it puts out ultra low frequency sound waves which make your chest sort of vibrate because you've got that big empty cavity there like a drum. Maybe you can hear a little of it. Let me put it up here. I put it right on the camera microphone, you can hear it. But it's doing those ultra low frequency in conjunction with a nature and music program playing via their app through my earbuds. Does this Sensate device and the app with its musical and nature sounds and the meditative state it puts me in, does it really do anything for me? It's been amazing what it's done for me. Hi, I'm Paris, and I'm an emotional suppressor. I only recently found out that there's a name for it, emotional suppression, and it turns out it's something I've been doing for pretty much my entire life. And it's not just me. I think lots of men around my age grew up with the expectation that there were some emotions you just didn't show. If you were really sad, if you were afraid, if you were panicked, you had to put those aside because you had to deal with the task at hand, which can be life-saving in the short term, but it tends to kill you in the long term. Because pushing those emotions aside doesn't mean they go away. They go somewhere, I'm not quite sure where, but they still affect you. And year after year of doing that, suppressing your emotions and not dealing with them, it extracts a high toll. You can find lots of news stories like this. And what do they say the solution is? Well, here at the end of the story, let's see. Practice relaxing measures like mindfulness, meditation, calming techniques at slow breathing, yoga, and Tai Chi. Do I do any of those? No. Am I inclined to do any of those? No, not really. I know there are lots of people that practice those activities and receive a lot of benefit from it, and I expect I would receive benefit from it too, but I don't know whether it's the don't show weakness kind of thing, but I just don't see myself doing those things. So how am I going to get the benefit of that sort of thing without doing it? Well, turns out I found a way that works for me. Technology, which can be a source of a lot of stress, but finally they found a way to help relieve it too. Now, I found the Sensate device a few weeks ago when, after a medication problem, I was having some heart rhythm and palpitation issues and was just sort of desperate to get that under control. I've had the issues for years, but I know the things that trigger it and I stay away from them, but I can't help a medical mix-up. I had to wait till that had passed. So I was searching for things to help with the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs from the brain down past the heart, down to the gut, and so different things can get it irritated, and gut-related things, what you're eating, heart-related things like stress and emotion, and brain-related things, which also I guess would be stress and emotion. So I was looking for something that can calm that nerve down and stop it from upsetting the heart. And I found a device that looked interesting, and some people said, greatest thing ever. Some people who got it said, psh, didn't do a thing for me, I returned it. But I was desperate enough, I was willing to spend $250 and try it. Actually, I got a discount code which brought it down to about $235. So if you're shopping for it, and I'll link to it down below this video, search for the discount code and use that and get some of the money off. Now, what their website said the Sensate device does is you turn it on, you sync it with your phone, you place it on your chest, and it does those ultra low frequency vibrations that sort of vibrate through your chest cavity, which does affect your vagus nerve that runs right by there. The other part of it is the app that you get on your phone. They have different tracks that are specially designed in conjunction with the Sensate device. There's a nature component to it, whether it's the sound of birds or waves or in a forest, and then there's music put in with that, and they work together. The idea is, my thinking is, they don't say this exactly, is that with the vagus nerve stimulation from the ultra low frequency and the relaxation and the particular mindset that the listening with headphones or earbuds does to your brain, you're sort of training the vagus nerve to associate the stimulation with these calming thoughts and feelings, rather than what usually happens is when it gets worked up and then you're stressed and you're panicked, it associates it with that. Now, maybe that's the case and maybe that actually works, but my experience using it from the very first time I tried it, my understanding is that it did something really different The mechanism of how it worked was very different with me, but it had the same good effect of incredibly calming down and relaxing both me and the vagus nerve and my heart. Now, the first day I tried it out, wasn't feeling real great, had been having the heart palpitations, and decided I would give this a try, but I was nervous about it because I didn't want to do something to make that worse. So read through the instructions, downloaded the app, got it set up. There's not a whole lot to it. You just connects via Bluetooth to your phone, and lay down in bed, figured out where to put the thing on my chest. So I downloaded and started with the bird track. It's a 10-minute track. You have birds, sounds, you have some music in the background. So that started playing, and then I had the Sensate device right in the position on the chest, and it started doing the things that it does. It was a little bit overwhelming for me. I just felt nervous because of how strongly it was vibrating my chest. And so I paused it, and I went and I looked in the app, and there's a volume and intensity control. So I put the intensity down. It was up at about 2/3. I put it down to about 1/3. So I restarted the track and said, all right, I'm going to close my eyes and put the little beanbag thing they give over the eyes, and I'm going to give this the best chance it has to work for me. So at first I was just focusing on, I hope this isn't going to make things any worse, but after a couple minutes, things weren't worse. So I started to relax a little bit. I'd had my hands up, not quite on my chest, but over my abdomen. And I did notice that I felt like the vibration wasn't just in my chest at that point. I felt like it was going down my legs, and I could feel it in my feet. And I thought, that's pretty unlikely, but okay, I'm going along with this. So I took my arms off of my belly and just put them down by my side. And I noticed my mind trying to go different places and worry about whatever it is I was worried about that day. And I was having trouble focusing on the worrying between the bird sounds, the music, and it's sort of like, I'm guessing when you do the chanting, when you do the om, it makes a vibration through your chest. But I wasn't really running the vibrations. It was doing the vibrating based on somebody programming that in to match with the different sounds in the music. So I couldn't control the vibrations that were happening, and I really couldn't control focusing on thinking about stuff. I don't know what it is about the combination. All I can say, the best word is, it was too distracting. It distracted me from the thoughts running through my head. I said, okay, I'm going to give this 10 minutes. So I went ahead and said, I've just got to, let it do the thing it's going to do in its pattern and not worry about it. I've got to accept that I can't focus on these things I feel like I should be worrying about. I feel like I should be focusing on them, but it's hard right now, so I'm going to let that go. And that's really what it came down to. It came down to letting that stuff go. And I found I must have fought it and, had the battle back and forth with the control and not wanting to give that up for probably about half the time, about 5 minutes. And then I noticed at just after, I would guess about 5 minutes through the 10-minute track, that I felt calm. And I thought, well, that's strange. When's the last time I really felt like this? And I noticed that everything was calm. In other words, I think I often I've been told I carry a lot of stress, especially in my left shoulder. And I thought, okay, let's feel about relaxing it. But I couldn't relax it anymore because basically everything had become relaxed. Now, I know there's a mental exercise you can do where you think about like your foot, and then you focus on it, and then you relax it, and then you go up to your leg, and you do the parts of your body to help relax all over. Well, with the Sensate device, it seemed to have relaxed everything all at once. And I thought, well, that feels so different, but it feels so nice. And so, of course, then I'm starting to worry about, should I be feeling this way? But I couldn't really focus on the worry because of the distraction of the auditory things going on. The fact that I didn't have any visual input because I had this over the eyes. So all I really had was, at the moment, sense of touch and the hearing, and both of those were being occupied and controlled by this program. So I said, okay, this is different, but I'm going to go with it. And I noticed my breathing was very slow. And then I started thinking, that's right. A lot of these breathing exercises are to slow down your breathing, to do deep breathing, to help with the relaxation. And I didn't focus on doing that. I find myself doing that slow, deep breathing. And at that point, I wondered, am I going to fall asleep? Because one of the things you can use this for is to help fall asleep. But before I had a chance to fall asleep, the music and the sounds, the volume went down, the vibration on the chest stopped. And so I just laid there, feeling what I was going to feel. And the most surprising thing was, I didn't feel my heart acting up at all. It was nice and smooth and steady. So that 10-minute session was done and had really an amazing effect on me. But what's the first thing I think after it's finished is, but how long is it going to last? So I already found something else to start worrying about. Okay, I'm going to stay here 10 minutes more and just lie here and see what happens. And I was, noticing, man, my breathing is so slow and deep, and that relax. I don't feel stress or tension in any muscles anywhere. And okay, so, well, then is it still going to be okay when I get up? So slowly I, took off the earbuds and the Sensate, and I rolled out of bed and stood up. Yeah, I still feel okay. And so this is an issue I have too, even when I'm feeling better. If it crosses my mind that I might not feel well, that things might act up, then I start waiting for them to act up and expecting it to happen, which probably causes stress, which makes it more likely that it's going to happen. But this effect that it had was very resilient, because I came out to the living room and I was, wow, that was really something. And I made a note of the time, and then went on with doing some other things. I think I was reading something for a bit, and a half hour's gone by. Still feel good. Wow, that's really good. Then one of my daughters came home from school at about an hour and was telling me something about that they were going to be going out and driving. It was going to be, and anyway, I started to feel stress from this. And I thought, nope, I'm going to think back to that how I was feeling there. And yeah, it didn't turn into anything. It passed, and I'm still good. 5 hours later, when I was going to bed, I still felt good. During the course of the next day, I did run into some other stressful things. I noticed I wasn't feeling particularly well again. Okay, I'm going to give this another try. I'm going to try a different track. And so I downloaded that, put the earbuds in. This was the second time I'd used it. In between, I had my wife try it out. I thought, because everybody has anxiety things these days, so give this a try. She fell asleep halfway through the track and slept a full 15 minutes after it finished, so it worked really well. She said it was so nice and relaxing. She was a little put off at first by the chest vibration, you're feeling that inside of your chest, and that was what was worrisome to me at first too. But once you let that go, if you can get past that, then it seems to do good things for most people. Now I have one more person who tried it. I'll tell you about them in a second, but let me tell you about the second time I used it. So that was actually here on the sofa. I just reclined and had the earbuds in, chose a different track, and this time it only took about 30 seconds to give myself over, to stop worrying about is the vibration going to do something bad. And it was having a good effect. It wasn't completely quiet here in the living room, so a few times my attention got drawn to some other sound that I heard, but very quickly it didn't break the spell. I was able to go right back into this meditative state. And I checked all the muscles. Are they super relaxed? Yeah, they were super relaxed. How's the heart doing? Yeah, seems to be pretty good. Okay, and I very nearly fell asleep at the end of that 10-minute session. And I just stayed in this reclined, relaxed position even after it finished for a few minutes and just waited to see, and it was all good. Took the device off and got up and went back to doing things. Felt so much better the rest of the day. So after my good experiences with it, I told my kids about it, 18 and 21, said, you might want to give this a try. And my youngest daughter, she right away said, yeah, okay, I'll try it. So I tried to explain some stuff to her, but she was just sort of in a hurry to give it a try. And she said, yeah, I don't really like those nature sound things. I said, well, listen and try it. So she put it on. She started a track. She put the beanbag thing over the eyes. And then I went out of the room. And when I came back 2 or 3 minutes later, she was up and not doing it. She said, no, I don't like it. I said, well, what bothered you about it? She said, yeah, the vibration in the chest, that feels funny, and I don't like the nature sound sort of thing, so yeah, I don't want to do it. So I was disappointed because I think she didn't get to the point of, I think she was still at the point of fighting it. She hadn't decided to just let it have control and let it do what it was going to do. If you can't get to that point, you don't see the benefit of it. So I think I started to suggest that, hey, why don't you try it again? But no. So It's not for everyone. If having that vibration varying in your chest cavity is going to bother you and you can't just accept it, then it's probably not going to work for you. But once I got past that point, that's when I could really see and experience the benefit. So I can't tell you if the Sensate device will work for you. I can just tell you that it had a pretty profound effect on me. And yes, the Sensate's expensive, but I can't tell you how many times I've been feeling poorly and it was stress-triggered things that were going on that I said to myself, I would give anything if I could just feel better. So in that case, it doesn't seem so expensive. Now the Sensate seems more of an at-home relaxation and calming device because you do really need to recline to some extent in order for it to be able to work. But I was thinking, even if you can't do it in your chair at work, you got your car out in the parking lot, you could certainly go out there, recline it, listen to it. You got 10-20 minutes, may help to get you through the rest of the day. But after having such good results with this, I wanted a more mobile solution, something easier to take along and use in a variety of places if I need to. So I found something. Yes, I'm going all new agey. I found one thing that works for me, so I'm hoping this other one will as well, and I'll be reviewing it shortly. You can find out more about the Sensate at the link down below this video, and I'll see you feeling far more relaxed on the next review.
There are so many choices and you don't want to stress. You want your health food at home, receiving only the best. That's what we're here for, we give honest reviews. parristx.